Yo, it's Portal here with the video. Today I'm giving you 10 tips and tricks to hit masters. If you enjoy this video at all, or it actually helps you hit masters, go ahead and subscribe and leave a like on the video. I really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get into it. Tip number 1 is going to be how to ban brawlers effectively. So banning brawlers effectively is one of the most important parts of the game. It's almost as important as drafting smart, but I'll get into that later. When you are banning brawlers, you are going to want to figure out if you have the first pick or if the enemy team has the first pick. You are always going to want to ban the best brawlers on the map, but it's also a good idea to try to target 1 to 2 brawlers not to ban, so that if your team has first pick, they can go ahead and pick those brawlers. For example, Mo is really good in the meta right now, so if you have first pick, you might decide that you're not going to ban Mo, and instead you might ban brawlers like Clancy and other ones who are also good in the meta right now. And so if the enemy team doesn't ban Mo and you have first pick, you're going to be able to play Mo and you're probably going to dominate the match. Being able to effectively ban brawlers and not just ban random ones is going to be able to take your gameplay up a notch and make sure that you are playing good brawlers who are actually effective in the meta, and you're not just banning random brawlers who have no chance of getting picked. Tip number 2 is going to be switching lanes / hot zones / everything else. So every map in Brawl Stars is mostly made up of 3 lanes. You typically have the middle lane, which is called mid, you have the right lane, and then you also have the left lane. In order to use your team comp the most effectively, you're going to want to try and be in the lane of your best matchup. For example, let's say you're playing the map Bridge Too Far on Heist. Let's say your team comp is a Colette, Colt, and Crow versus a Bull, Piper, and Eve. Most people think you should just go to the lane you spawn at, but that's not always the best move. Because if you're the Crow and a Piper contests you in your lane, you'll lose that matchup almost every single time. Instead, the Crow should opt to swap lanes so that the Colt can try to take that matchup. If you lose a game, do not just give up even if you got destroyed. We all have bad games, and sometimes all it takes is switching lanes to win a game. If you don't change the recipe, then you'll never change the outcome. Being effective at being able to switch lanes to counter your opponents is the easiest way to quickly improve at winning your ranked games. Tip number 3 is to upgrade better brawlers to power 11. Having a good amount of brawlers at power 11 is going to be the easiest way to get to masters. I would suggest getting 3 to 5 good brawlers per game mode at power 11 so that you can have rebound picks in case the brawlers you have at power 11, in case they get picked or in case they get banned. I'll go in later in depth at what brawlers are going to be good at what maps and suggestions I have for getting power 11. Tip number 4 is to learn the modifiers. Getting familiar with the modifiers is really important to do, since a decent amount of your games will be played with modifiers. It's important to try to get around 3 to 5 brawlers to power 11 that are good to play with the modifiers for this season. So for barbed ammo, I suggest RT, Mo, Clancy, Gale, and Colt. For momentum, it's really just going to be any brawlers that are good for that specific map, which I will get into that later. And for super bushy, I suggest Jean with vision gear, Amber, Daryl, Tara, and Meg. Tip number 5 is going to be play objective. This might sound really stupid, but playing objective is more important than trying to go out and get kills. I can't tell you the amount of times I've played with somebody who goes for kills instead of playing objective, and it costs them the game. You need to realize that the objective of the game is more important than getting that kill. So next time you run out of the zone to try and get a kill, or throw the ball away to go for a kill, you should sit there and realize that the objective is more important. If at all you can sacrifice your super in order to better the objective, it's always worth it. Whether it's supering a ball in Brawl Ball, it's putting your super down in hot zone to try to prevent them from getting into the zone. Whatever it takes, it's going to be worth it to sacrifice your super. Tip number 6 is to learn the meta. So knowing the meta is really important, and it'll help you upgrade and pick the right brawlers for ranked. For example, if you look at a brawler like Daryl, last season he was never seen in ranked because of how bad he was, but ever since his new buffs, this season he has become one of the top brawlers in the game and is seen as a really good brawler to play in the meta. Just knowing the meta will improve your game and drafting knowledge a lot. Tip number 7 is to play smarter. Winning games in Brawl Stars all comes down to being able to kill and damage the other team to complete the objective before them. So you want to play smart and take notice of the little things. For example, if you see that an Edgar or Fang has hypercharge, you're going to want to avoid staying next to each other so they can't just get an easy triple kill. It's important to take notice of these kinds of things as they can make or break your matches. Tip number 8 is how to draft counters/counter draft. Drafting is one of the most important parts of ranked, and it'll make or break your game. It doesn't matter how good you are, if you pick a team of brawlers who get countered by the other team, it'll take a miracle to win. If you pick first overall, you are always going to want to pick a good brawler in the meta who's going to be hard to counter for the other team. For example, if you pick Edgar first overall, if the other team is smart, they are not going to pick someone like Dynamite who gets countered by Edgar. But instead, if you pick somebody who's a good first pick like Mo, the other team might pick brawlers like Dynamite to counter, which lets you pick Edgar with the last pick. Tip number 10, I'll show you all the best brawlers for every single map so you can figure out who would be a good first pick and somebody who's hard to counter. Tip number 9 is pretty simple, but it's to play with friends/team. So playing with teammates and having comms is the best way to hit masters. For one, you'll have a chance to improve your synergy with your teammates. You'll be able to call out to your teammates if somebody's hiding in a bush or pushing a lane. And you'll find it a whole lot easier to win games with people who you get familiar with. Trust me, this is the best and easiest way to hit masters. If you are having a hard time finding a team, you can go into various Discord servers. I might even create a Discord server, or you can find people in the comments to try to play with. You're going to want to find somebody who's close to your trophy level, and you're also going to want to find teammates with a lot of power 11s and somebody with good game knowledge. Alright, tip number 10 is going to be the best brawlers for every single map. So there are 6 game modes in ranked. Each game mode has 4 maps for every single season. So I'll go game mode by game mode and show you all the best brawlers for each map. So starting out with Knockout, first map we have is Bell's Rock. My top 5 is Grom, Sprout, Rico, Tick, and Mr. P. For Flare and Phoenix, my top 5 is Grom, Jean, Mandy, Buster, and then Kit. But Kit really only works with another tank, so you gotta go with somebody like Daryl, Draco, somebody else, and you can also pair Byron with that for a really good matchup. Third map is going to be Gold Arm Gulch. My suggestions are Mo, Jean, Grom, Mandy, and Rico. And the fourth and final knockout map is Out in the Open. My suggestions are Angelo, Brock, Eve, Mandy, and Jean. Now moving on to the second game mode, we have Gem Grab. The first map is going to be Double Swoosh. I suggest Tara, Surge, Sandy, Chester, and Gale. The second map is Hard Rock Mine. I suggest Surge, Rico, Tara, Sandy, and Mo. The third map is Last Stop. I suggest Gale, Chester, Mo, Surge, and Piper. And the fourth and final map is going to be Undermine. I suggest Surge, Tara, Gale, Chester, and Mo. Moving on to Heist, the first map is Bridge Too Far. I suggest Colt, Piper, Angelo, Melody, Colette. The second map is Hot Potato. I suggest Nita, Barley, Rico, Melody, and Jesse. The third map is Kaboom Canyon. I suggest Colt, Colette, Crow, Gale, and Melody. And the fourth map is Safe Zone. I suggest Colt, Chuck, Jesse, Colette, and Crow. Now moving on to Hot Zone. The first map is Dueling Beetles. I suggest Mo, Sandy, Jesse, Surge, and Gale. The second map is Open Business. I suggest Sandy, Jesse, Surge, Larry Lowry, and Barley. The third map is Parallel Plays. I suggest Surge, Larry Lowry, Jackie, BB, Miko. And the fourth map is Ring of Fire. I suggest Mo, Gale, Sandy, Jesse, and Bo. Now moving on to Brawl Ball. The first map is Center Stage. I suggest Gale, Jackie, Surge, Sandy, and Rico. For Penalty Kick, that's the second map. I suggest Surge, Mo, Larry, Rico, and Frank. For Pinball Dreams, I suggest Surge, Gale, Rico, Mo, and Larry. And for Triple Double, I suggest Surge, Mo, Rico, Gale, and Larry. And the final game mode we have is Bounty. For the first map, Canal Grande, I suggest Eve, Angelo, Larry, Surge, and Tick. For the second map, Hideout, I suggest Nani, Grom, Piper, Leon, and Angelo. For the third map, Shooting Star, I suggest Grom, Nani, Mandy, Angelo, and Piper. And for the final map, Snake Prairie, I suggest Tara, Bo, Shelly, Jackie, and Rosa. Last but not least, I'm going to give you my top 10 in the meta right now for ranked. These are all going to be safe brawlers you can upgrade to power 11 who are going to be effective on the most maps for ranked. This goes in no specific order, but here's the 10 brawlers. We got Surge, Gale, Jesse, Mo, Clancy, Grom, Larry, Colette, Angelo, and Chester. And that's going to be all. If you enjoyed this video, and if this video helped you at all to understand ranked more, or helped you at all to push up in ranked, whether it's helping you get to mythic, helping you get to legendary, or even helping you get to masters, then I'd appreciate for you to like the video and subscribe. I put a lot of work into this video to try to help you guys hit masters. So yeah, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. And yeah, thank you for watching.